So the big question is, should you support your partner's dreams? Today, I'm talking about how much support should you give and how do you give it? My name is Joan Nwosu and welcome to the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. True story. So a couple of months ago, I decided to quit my career, my job, my 9-to-5 job yet again for the opt-in time to focus more on my calling, on my purpose, and some other things that I wanted to work on. When I called Davide to tell him the news, there was some fear in me because I've had this situation in the past where I told a partner of some of the things I wanted to pursue, and it wasn't met with the congratulations that I was expecting. It was met with a lot of, so what's going to happen now? How are you going to survive? Who's going to fend for you? Where's money going to come from? Yada, yada, yada. Oh, have you thought about it? Who do you know that has done it? Nobody else has been successful. And a lot of fears that came up. And I get it. It's not easy to support a person's dreams, especially if one, maybe you're not part of the dream, or maybe you're just not aligned to the dream. So this is what typically happens in most relationships. And I'll tell you what Davide responded to at the end of this podcast. So most relationships, a partner comes to their loved one with excitement in their eyes, about to share a dream that has just been revealed to them. They're super excited about this new course that they want to take and they lay it on their partner. But then what happens? This is where the journey of support begins. How you respond to that first piece of information, whether you believe it or not, that's not the problem. How you respond to it is what determines how things are going to progress and what kind of support you're going to provide your partner along the way. I'm a firm believer that your partner should be your number one cheerleader, your confidant, and yeah, sometimes your reality check, but it should always come from a place of love. They should always be willing to believe in your dreams, whatever those dreams are. They should be able to support you and you should be able to have that safe haven where you can be vulnerable and be open to share your dreams. What else are relationships for? It's in relationships that you're supposed to express yourself and live out your fullest purpose. At least that's what I believe. So sometimes we get into situationships where you have a partner who's not supportive. And I dare say at that point in time, you should have known from earlier in the dating phase that this type of person may not necessarily be open to some of the bigger dreams that you have. So if you're in the dating phase and you're someone who maybe you're like me and you have a lot of passions or hobbies or you have a calling or a purpose that you know that eventually you're going to pursue, maybe start to gauge some of that while you're going on dates and see how they react or how they're interested in the things concerning you. Not just the big things that are happening in your life, but just your everyday conversations, small moments in your life, small wins, small losses. See how they react to some of those things. Might give you an insight into how they're going to react when things shift. And for me, they're always big shifts. So yes, it is possible for two people, a couple, to have different dreams and goals in life and still successfully be under the same roof. Like we've seen stories where maybe an artist is in a relationship or in a marriage with a banker, or an entrepreneur is with a teacher or a bus driver. Yes, you can be successful in those relationships. It's all about balance and believing that each person deserves to pursue their dreams, right? Each person should feel like they can go after whatever it is that their heart truly desires and have you as a support system to be able to help them. Look, I know it's not always easy, especially if there's like financial implications where maybe you need both salaries to pay the mortgage. But your response should never come from a place of, what do you think you're doing? How can you be so selfish? You know, who are you to think you're an entrepreneur? Where did this come from? No, you should always at least start out with some level of support. You can ask questions. You can be their reality check, like I said. But to have a successful relationship, you need to know how to navigate these sort of occurrences, because I'll tell you for free, a lot of relationships don't survive these kind of changes. where one person decides, I want to become an entrepreneur, or I want to become a dancer, or I want to become a bodybuilder. I want to pursue something else that you're not familiar with. So be very, very careful. So now, how do you give support? Yes, like I said, even whether or not you believe in the dream or not, that's not the point. You should provide a safe space for them to talk about it. You should listen. You should encourage them. You should be their cheerleader. You should be there to celebrate with them. Small wins, big wins, it doesn't matter. Celebrate every progress. When they have setbacks or if things don't work out, don't be the person saying, I told you so. I knew it would never work. Who the hell did you think you were? Those kind of words really sting. They're very hurtful. And what it does is, next time when your partner has a desire in their heart that they want to pursue, they're not going to come to you, right? Because a relationship is supposed to be a safe space where you can come and really talk about the things that you can't talk about with friends or with family, because you already have enough people out there in the world discouraging you from pursuing your dreams. So be careful when you're relating to a partner who is about to go on a different path, a path that you're not used to, or a path that maybe you don't align or agree with. So the relationship should be a safe haven. It shouldn't be where there's a lot of judgment going on. People should not be afraid to speak their truth, to speak their mind. They shouldn't be mocked or belittled when things don't work out. No, keep it safe. Use the right words. Make sure that you're constantly encouraging, you're brainstorming with them. You may not be active in the business or in the goal that they're trying to accomplish, but you should at least show some interest. Right? If you find some information, be willing to share. If you have connections or contacts that might be able to make the journey easier for them, you should make it available to them, right? You've already chosen to be with this person, so make it work. Support them as much as you can. But of course, there are things that can make it a lot easier from day one, but you have to figure this out before you've gotten yourself into a relationship. So like I said initially, during the dating phase is when you start to gauge how interested the person is in your life, how they feel about passions, purpose, following dreams, doing multiple things at the same time, and kind of gauge to see whether they're a fit or not. If you're not aligned from the start, yes, it may work out, but it's not always easy. So having a shared common vision, or an aligned vision at least, is a good way to get started on having a successful relationship journey. You should also, another thing that makes it easy is complementary personalities, where maybe one person is a big picture thinker, and then the other person is more into the weeds, into the finer details. That usually makes for a great relationship. So like for me, I'm a big thinker. I like to dream big, think big things. But when it comes to really figuring out the minute details, the steps that need to happen, well, that's where Davide kind of thrives, because he's a reader, he's a researcher who try to find out, okay, what are the things that need to be done, who has done it before, and what lessons can we learn from it. He may not be actively involved or immersed in my projects, but he always provides some level of advice and will ask me questions to make sure that I've been able to think through things, because I'm just if you just leave me, I'm just in the clouds, big picture thinker. So complementary personality also works. Another thing that really, really works is if you're able to build together, right? Sometimes a relationship requires you or the other person to slow down their own life, to slow down their own goals and their dreams. Because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of you building is for the benefit of your family, of the relationship. So yes, everybody wants to be a champion or a superstar, but sometimes one person's career or one person's purpose might need to take precedent, might need to be in the forefront, and then you need to slow down yours to support the partner. And then vice versa. When it's your own turn to now pursue something, then your partner is more than willing at this point to now focus on your own dreams and your own goals to support you. And that's how it should be. Iron keeps sharpening iron, and both of you will continue to grow and to fulfill and achieve whatever goals and dreams that you have in life. So back to my initial point about Davide. When I did tell Davide that I think I'm done again, like he was like, we're going out to celebrate. He made reservations at a restaurant. We went out for dinner. Like he was like, congratulations, you're following your dreams, your passion. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. Those were I'd never seen that before. Those were the words that came out of his mouth. And since then, it doesn't matter whether I have setbacks or wins, he's always there to support me. He's always encouraging me, reminding me of my bigger why I'm doing this. and making sure that in whatever way he can support, whether financially or just emotionally, he's constantly encouraging me, cheering me on, and being my number one supporter. I think for me, he's been consistent since I met him actually, but that's one of the biggest things that I truly appreciate. And I was happy that I saw this in the early days, even when we were dating. He was very, very interested in everything that had to do with my life. And I just knew that this kind of person will always support me because I like to do many things. Some people call me restless, but no, that's not what it is. I just have the capacity to do many things. And I have big dreams and big goals. So having a supportive partner and you being a supportive partner is very, very key. So reflect on yourself. How would you feel if a partner came to you and said, I want to become a singer. I want to quit my job and become a dancer. I want to tour the world. I want to be a backpacker. How would you respond? It's very key. How you respond is so key, because you too, one day, might need your partner to support you in your life goals and your life dreams. So consider that and start becoming that person who can really be a support system for a partner. Partnerships only thrive when both people allow each other to shine and to live out their full dreams and really live to the full expressions of the highest versions of themselves. Thank you for listening to today's podcast, the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. Until next time, sending you love and light.